Welcome to Beauty Business Matters. I'm Susan Routledge, your host, and today I have yet another very, very special guest. I'm here with Paul Green, and Paul has a company called Client Funnels. Paul, I've been so impressed with Paul since I met him, which isn't that long ago, but since then we've done some work together. Paul's coming over to Malaga to speak at the Beauty Directors Club Business Bootcamp. And yeah, what his company's doing for WhatsApp marketing is awesome. So, welcome, Paul.
Thanks for having me. I'm really worried now that this podcast isn't going to meet those expectations. I think we've started too soon.
I'm sure it is. I'm not easily impressed. So you've impressed me. The thing is that before we met, I didn't really know anything much about WhatsApp marketing. And what I did know was just the very tip of the iceberg of what you can do. And I know with my company, or both of my companies, both the consultancy side and the clinic, we're starting to bring it all in. No pressure on you though, Paul. No. Because it, as I say, when you were telling me about open rates opposed to, email and things, which we will go into in a lot more detail, it's just phenomenal. It's like the best kept secret, isn't it? Kind of thing. But first of all, I want to just recap back because you're not from a marketing background, are you?
No, I'm not. I have quite a long random history, and I think the more I tap into my history, the more people are like, what? I don't really, how does all of this fit together? And I don't think it really does. So my background prior to doing the business I do now was I was a commercial airline pilot. I am a commercial airline pilot. I was flying for 10 years, lost my job during the pandemic when the airline I was flying for entered administration. And I kind of set up the business on a bit of a whim. So I found out I'd lost my job on the 4th of March. I believe it was the 7th of March we went into lockdown.
Yes.
And there were just no jobs. I applied to be a delivery driver for a supermarket chain. I was told I wasn't qualified to drive a van. She's like,
that is crazy.
Can you imagine? I can't even think of what it was that they looked at my CV and went, I mean, you can fly a 20-ton aeroplane, but you can't drive a van. I applied to work in a call center. I was told I didn't have any customer service experience. I wasn't, qualified to pick up the phone and speak to people. So I had to kind of reinvent myself. I tried to sort of think about what I wanted to do. So originally, I was going to set up a resilience business. I had friends who worked in the NHS. They were talking about how at the time the NHS was really suffering with stress during COVID and people weren't kind of taking breaks, and all of the advice that the NHS were being given at the time was to, meditate or go for a walk during their lunch break, which when you're saving lives, people didn't really want to do. So I had a friend who worked in the NHS at the time. They said, if you can package something up the way pilots would deal with stress, then I think you've probably got a way in. So I knew if I could open the door, start having conversations, it's likely to sort of lead to something. So I had a bit of a wild idea. As I was thinking about how to do it, I saw my kids playing with some Lego. And I thought, do you know what? Lego's that thing that people just love. If you find Lego on a table, you have to pick it up and start connecting the bricks. So I partnered with a company that did Lego for therapy. And we packaged up a lot of Lego sets. We sent them into the NHS. I did a freedom of information request to find the people that I wanted to get hold of. Naughty me. And I sent recorded delivery of these Lego sets with a QR code on them that said, build something and send me a picture of what you'd sent, of what you've built.
Genius.
Well, at the time I was like, is it? Or is this just a punt? Is this going to work? It might not work.
But nobody had anything else to do.
Well, really. This was it. They were saving lives.
Yeah, they were saving lives, yes.
But other than that, they were so dedicated to work. So a couple of weeks later, I think I'd had nearly 1,000 messages back in WhatsApp with images of Lego models. And I just started having conversations with them. Fast forward 6 months and they offered me a £3 million contract to serve the NHS with a product that I hadn't created. It didn't exist. there was nothing there. And it was at that moment I realised that what I really enjoyed was that conversational marketing. I enjoyed getting in there. I enjoyed opening the door. I enjoyed having these conversations with people, and decided that was the direction I wanted to go in.
Well, that's genius though, isn't it? Because obviously at that point, everyone, like in the NHS, they were so stressed. So like to come up with an idea to get them to focus on something else. Absolutely genius.
Yeah, I remember reading the book Tiny Habits, where it was like, if you can just start small.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where it started. I thought, if I can get them playing with a Lego set, if I can get them spending 5 minutes, then what can we attach to that? And the number of people who came back to me and were like, it's wild to think, but, I remember a doctor messaging me and saying, I've just eaten lunch for the first time at work in 3 months, which is mad to think that that's where we are. But all the strategies at the time were like big, bold, you need to take an hour off. You need to, they were talking about using one of the waiting rooms and turning it into a yoga studio. And you're like, they're not going to do that. We need to think differently, start small, build these habits. And ultimately that's, I think, where the change comes in.
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, did that idea just come to you?
Yes. When I saw my kids playing with the Lego, I was
Amazing.
like, I wonder if I could get them to play with the Lego.
I love that. Absolutely love that. So from there, where did it move to next then?
So I met a lady that then became my business partner. She was a specialist in helping people get leads from LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And I thought, if I can use her methods, I can open this up and find more people. Up until then, I'd been told on LinkedIn to just send like thousands and thousands of DMs and eventually someone would reply, which didn't work for me. Unsurprisingly, lots of unsolicited DMs didn't really achieve anything. And this lady, Helen, decided to get me to come and do some work in her business. She had so many leads that she wasn't kind of getting through them fast enough. And we just thought, I said to her, I did this thing with WhatsApp and it seemed to really work. Like we managed to just have these conversations. I wonder if it would work for you. So we just started WhatsApping her leads. We just started having conversations. We were sending them videos, we were sending them voice notes. I got Helen to just record a load of audio for me and I would just randomly send them out to people in our audience. And people seemed to love it. They loved the proximity that they got to her that they didn't get access to anywhere else. They loved the kind of interactivity of it and that kind of social element. And then as we started to kind of grow and scale it, we realized, sending 1,000 WhatsApp messages every day wasn't sustainable for business. It meant we could, yes, it was good for lead generation and marketing, but it wasn't so good in terms of then being able to deliver for clients afterwards. So we started to automate it and started to look at where does automation fit into this? And not from a perspective of automating us out of it. I went back to my pilot training and I remember being told as a pilot that the reason you have an autopilot on an aeroplane isn't to make the pilot's life easier. Like it does make a pilot's life easier, but actually it's there to make the passenger's life more comfortable. Like an autopilot serves passengers first and serves pilots second. So I was like, if we can automate this in a way that's for the customer, that makes the customer's life easier, better, more exclusive, more VIP, then they're more likely to choose us over competitors. So that's what we did. That's where I started to automate with that very much in mind. And the results just kept following. Like the results just got better and better and better and better, to the extent where we had a call one day. So there was a law firm based in the States. They were based in New York, one of the largest law firms in New York State. And they came to us because they were interested in LinkedIn training. And I remember sitting across, me and Helen had this call on Zoom with this senior president of this business. And he just said, how can I have this thing? He said, I never get on calls. People don't get me on calls. You've got me on a call? How? And we talked him through exactly how we'd done it, from him filling in a quiz to us diagnosing his problem to us then sending him messages on WhatsApp talking about his specific challenges and how we think we could help. And then he was like, it's a no-brainer. I'm going to get on a call and we're going to explore this. And it was the weirdest thing. So then he was like, I want that. I don't want the LinkedIn training. I want that thing that you've just done. How can we make that work?
But I think that is the thing with every business, isn't it? It's the speed of getting back to someone. It's so crucial. And that's where it's the hardest thing, but as well, it is when you say automation, you like think, oh my God, well, they know it's not me actually messaging back. So it's from both sides, isn't it? Kind of thing. It's like if you don't get back to someone, then you're just going to lose them because I think it's within how many hours really do you need to get back to someone to keep them in your world kind of thing?
Yeah, I like you said hours. So the current research, I believe it's Harvard Business Review, said that if you can respond within 5 minutes, you are 100 times more likely to turn them into a customer.
Really?
So I'm glad you led with an hour.
Yeah.
How many hours? Well,
I'm failing miserably. Currently. But not for long, Paul. Because you're going to sort everything out.
We're on it. Yeah, 5 minutes. If you can respond within 5 minutes, it's you're 100 times more likely to turn them into a customer. And I think that's getting less as well.
But then, do people not automatically know that that's an automation though?
Yeah, they do. And that's fine. So there's a balance between when people want information and when people want human interaction. Mm. Information, when somebody just wants information from you, they don't care how they get it. They just want the information. I think buyer behavior shifted. So once upon a time, if you think about if you've gone on a night out 10 years ago and you wanted to buy some new clothes, you would have gone to the high street to browse, to find the thing you wanted to buy. Now, if you're in the same situation, you go online and you browse and you go to the high street to try on the thing you found. People go to the high street when they've made their buying decision and all they're looking for is confirmation. So when people land on your website, your business is a perfect example. If I'm looking for a massage, I'm not looking on your website to find what might be the right fit for me. I'm on your website because I know that's what I want. Mm-hmm. Yes. And I'm now just looking for what are the prices, what's the availability, is it the right fit for me? Are you the right fit for me? So if I land on your website and I can't find that information, I'm going somewhere else.
Yes.
I'm going to go to your competitor. Or worse, in the world we live in now, I'm Googling, or I'm going to AI and I'm asking AI the answers to my questions. So we can use automation to provide those answers, to respond to people much, much faster so that they are armed with the information they need to make a buying decision. And then we can progress them into the more personal side of things. We can also use automation to bring the personal element in. So one of the things we love to do is when someone makes an inquiry through any kind of website, we send them an automated video. Because although they don't actually expect you to be sat there recording this video live, you've still recorded that video and it's still your face, it's still your voice that they're seeing and they're hearing. So it still builds that proximity, which I think is so important.
Yeah, because I mean, in my industry, in the beauty industry, I think especially for someone who's working solo and hasn't got a reception team, that is the hardest thing. Because the thing is that quite often as well, someone's just got a general inquiry. Because I always teach everyone to book their clients well in advance so that you haven't got people ringing up for their next appointment because they're already booked in. But you will have people who are new who just want that inquiry, and as well, they do want to see that face because it's such a personal service. So I think that is invaluable, and I think that is going to be so great for my industry. And I know that like you and I are just starting to like work together on how we can utilize it within the beauty industry and hair and aesthetics, because we are offering that personal service, yet it becomes impersonal, especially when you're busy, and then you've got these calls still to do, which it's finding a convenient time to come back to someone, because quite often, I speak to salon owners who are finishing at 7, 8 at night. It's not the best time then to be ringing someone, and as well, you're not in the right energy either. So having something where it can automate and especially be you, I think it's just going to be so brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, I think if you think about how things are right now, so exactly that situation, you go on someone's website, you fill in an inquiry form, and you are very much then at the mercy of them getting back to you and giving you information, or it's an online booking form, which still works. But imagine a situation where you go online and you fill in that form, and the first thing that comes back is a video that says, hey, thank you so much for your interest. We're really excited that you want to come to us. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. We're going to see how we can best serve you. It's very much about them as a customer. I'm here to reply to you. I want to serve you. Compare that to, I got an out of office the other day from somebody that I WhatsApped, and it said, thanks so much for your inquiry. My well-being is really important, so I'm going to reply to you when I have time.
That's my pet hate. The thing is that I send out a weekly newsletter, and I not very often have a rant, but like I did a newsletter saying, check what you're sending out, because the autoresponders literally, my rant didn't really work because I'm still getting those autoresponders. But some are like still talking about, COVID and hard times and things. And I'm thinking, it just needs to be a friendly message back.
Yeah.
So,
and even simple things like the number of times I see, our business hours are 9 till 5. We'll respond to you within business hours. The world has changed. The world does not operate 9 to 5 anymore. I'm not saying that you should be online 9 to 5, beyond 9 to 5.
Yeah,
absolutely. But people want to make buying decisions. There are certain industries where the buying decisions are made between 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. Well, if you're not online, or you're not available, or people can't find the answers to their questions within those hours, they're going to go to your competitor. And I can tell you for a fact, everybody listening to this podcast will have a competitor that is online when they're not online.
True. Very, very
and
true.
They'll take the business every time. There's a really good saying I heard someone say recently, and I hate it, but it's so true. You no longer have to be the best. You just have to be the fastest. The fastest wins every time.
Yeah. But I think as well, because everyone's attention spans are shorter, aren't they? Because there's so much going on. There's so much out there. And you get distracted so easily online as well. What are the stats for someone opening WhatsApp opposed to email and things?
So we ran a campaign recently for a client of ours who had 300 leads, and we sent out 100 emails, we did 100 WhatsApps, and we did 100 phone calls. So over email, we had a 21% open rate, and we had a 4% click-through on the email, which... It's funny. I mean, we said this over breakfast, didn't we, this morning? How people go, oh, that's 21% for email. That's good. We've kind of learned to settle for that.
But
as
what
an
we
open
were
rate.
saying is, quite often I get so many emails through, and sometimes I'll click on one, don't read it, and then I'll just delete it. That goes into your click-through rate, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
In what you're saying about Apple as well, who they'll do something with your
they'll do an auto open on a lot of emails.
So that's going to affect.
Scan.
So sometimes the stats that you're seeing aren't necessarily that someone sat and read through all of your newsletter and everything. It's like they've just...
And that's an interesting thing, and that maybe we can discuss in a bit as well, about length of content. Like attention span has dropped. Long form content used to be really powerful, and now short form content is the thing that we find performs better. Again, WhatsApp's a brilliant platform for short, sharp content. We always say a video less than 60 seconds gets insane results versus an email that takes you 10 minutes to read. We got 21% on the email. Over the phone, we managed to speak to 16 people in total. And of those 16, 10 took action. And then our WhatsApp open rate was 98% with a 56% click-through.
Wow. That's impressive. Yeah.
It's because WhatsApp is a really trusted platform. It's where we talk to our friends. It's where we talk to our family. It's where we have the football chat, the PTA chat, the ballet group. It's where we're in all of those places. And I always say to any of my clients, what you want to do with WhatsApp is you want to become their most trusted advisor. So that, if you run a hair salon and somebody needs a hair appointment, you're not just the person cutting their hair. You are guiding them on the right thing for them. If you run an aesthetics clinic, like trust is so important. You want to be their trusted advisor in what is the right thing for them to do to achieve the results they want to achieve.
Yeah.
And WhatsApp just is the place to do that, because that's where we do that already. You know,
Yeah.
if you have a problem right now, you know, let's say your car breaks down and you need to get in touch with a friend or family member, what platform are you going to?
Yeah. WhatsApp straight away.
It's funny, isn't it? Like every time,
Yeah.
any situation,
Yeah.
WhatsApp's where you go.
And I mean, obviously with salon software and different things, that's still at the moment, it's like SMS reminders or email as well. So yeah, there's so much where it can move on, isn't there, really?
Yeah, and it's not even just using WhatsApp as a platform that gets those kind of results either. It's the way you use it. So
Yeah.
you know, SMS and email is just really broadcasty.
Yeah.
If you send somebody a reminder over SMS, if you think it's, hi name, you're booked in for service at time, at date, it's so just broadcasting at somebody. It's pure information delivery. It's not relationship building.
Yeah,
you know,
totally.
and even at that point where somebody's booked an appointment with you, we should be thinking about longevity of that customer, not just thinking about in this moment right now, they're coming and they're going to buy from me. You're like, well, actually, what's the next thing they need? And the thing after that, and the thing after that. So how can we start to build that relationship? You know, a short, sharp video. Hey, I'm so excited that you've booked in. Really looking forward to you coming into the salon. Below this video, there are all the details that you need. If you need anything in the meantime, you can get us here on WhatsApp.
Yeah.
That
awesome.
goes such a long way in building credibility, in building that relationship, in giving that proximity that I just don't think you can get on any other platform.
And to do this in a business, do you have to pay?
Yeah, so, I mean, you can start the way I started and just pick up your phone and message people. My advice always is that you want to automate as much as possible to remove the friction from you. So, yes, there are software costs, but they're relatively minimal with WhatsApp.
Yeah. And if someone's got a database, you can't just put everyone into a WhatsApp group, can you? You've got to invite them, and how do you do this?
So it's standard GDPR rules. So you have to make sure that you've acquired their data lawfully. So you can't buy a database and just start WhatsApping them. One of the great things about WhatsApp is that they will block and spam companies so unbelievably fast that are misusing it. We had a client recently that they didn't tell me, but they bought some data in. They bought 1,000 phone numbers. Within 20 seconds of them WhatsApping, their account was shut down and they were banned and weren't allowed to use WhatsApp again.
Yeah.
They don't just block the phone number either, they block the business. So the business can't use it. But as long as you've legally acquired data, there's nothing to stop you messaging them. So you could have a database of contacts and you could start to WhatsApp them. My advice is always don't reach out to anybody that's more than 6 months old. Like as long as they've heard from you in the last 6 months and they've booked from you in the last 6 months, then it's absolutely fine to get in touch with them.
And you teach people how to do this, don't you? And is that through, I know you've got some online programs and you've got, so that obviously we have you in our pocket kind of thing, which is great, guiding us. But there's all different ways to learn how to do this, isn't it? And I'd never really come across anyone who taught it in the way that you do as well, because I think it's very easy to like just to look at something and I mean before I met you, we'd tried on YouTube videos and all sorts of things trying to learn what to do, but it's not like relatable kind of thing to and specific to our industry, which is like what we're doing now. So what would you say you do different to what is on the YouTube videos and things trying to teach you how to do these kinds of things?
Yeah, I think the YouTube videos are very much geared up for short, sharp learnings, and they want you to get the quick wins. So more often than not, you know, any of those kind of trainings are going to tell you to get your database, to WhatsApp your database and put an offer in front of them, which is going to work. Like it's good that will work, that will deliver results. We are more in the game of what are the long-term outcomes here. Like, yes, we can produce you a quick win, but actually if we go down the route of nurturing and engaging and qualifying and segmenting and building those relationships, you're going to get the longevity. Platforms like YouTube are not built for long-term results. Like, you don't go on YouTube to go, what happens if I start WhatsApping people today? Like, what results can I see in 5 years by using WhatsApp? Like, that's not why we're there. People go on YouTube because they want a result today and they want to get an answer. So yeah, working with us, we have our program, we teach, and we have our consultancy where we'll do it for them. The consultancy, we always say it's a minimum of 3 months because it takes that time to embed it in. And, I don't mind saying our first attempt didn't work, did it?
No.
And that's part of the game.
Yeah, because I think it's a two-way thing as well, because obviously I've had my clinic for 37 years. So our clients are used to us engaging in a certain way with them. They're used to getting their weekly newsletter. They're used to us like texting them for their appointments. They're used to picking up the phone and things. So I think it's, and we give them too many choices. That's one thing that we'd never really thought about. So we were like, you can do this. You can get in contact us by this and this and this, which we're changing now. But I do think that in our industry, like it's educating clients as well. So we are going to move everything over into WhatsApp. But I think it's just making clients aware of because, the fact of that nobody else is going to be able to see that number. It's not like just going to be a standard group. Nobody's going to be able to see that they are having a conversation with us. All of those kinds of things where they used to probably like the family or friend group chats, which is a different thing again, isn't it? How it's done.
Yeah. So I think it's worth saying we're not talking about group chats here. We're talking about one-to-one.
Yeah.
So we're not sticking people in a big group and everyone's talking about their problems and their challenges. I think that's an interesting thing. So one of the things you said then was about, we've got to educate your current clients in coming into WhatsApp. And I know that's something we've worked on. But I think the other side of this as well is what we're looking to do is to capture people who maybe aren't in your database already.
Yes.
Because there will be people that you don't even know out there that exist that would have landed on your website, that would have asked a question and wouldn't found the answer.
Yeah.
An analogy, I love to use this. Whenever I speak on stage, and I've been doing a lot of keynote talks this year.
I know you're everywhere.
I've done 24 this year, which is it's a lot.
So good.
Yeah.
And great content.
Absolutely. But one of the analogies I love to give on stage is, imagine you go to a shoe shop and you walk into this shoe shop, and on the shelf you see lots of different shoes. Only one of every shoe. They love doing that, don't they? They just put the left shoe out there.
So you don't run off with the shoe.
Yeah, exactly. And it's never the right size. So you go over, you find the style that you really like. You need to try them on. So you're going to go and you're going to find somebody to help you to find the right size shoes. What do you do if there's nobody there in the shoe shop to help you?
Walk out normally.
You walk out. This is what happens with people's online content. They go onto your website, they don't find the answer to their question, they leave and they go somewhere else. So the great thing about utilizing WhatsApp as a platform is we allow them to ask us questions. So, just one of the simplest things we do with a lot of our clients is putting a WhatsApp bot on the website. It's not AI. It's a very carefully curated journey we want to take them on in order to give them the answers to their questions. Because if we can't answer their questions, I think the statistic is within 8 seconds.
Wow.
So if I land on a website and I don't find the answer within 8 seconds, I'm going somewhere else. So we spend all this time and attention, we invest in Google, we invest in all these different ad platforms to drive traffic to our website. And then we don't help them when they land there. So as much as we're using WhatsApp to educate your current audience, we also need to use WhatsApp to support the people who are landing and not getting the answers to their questions. We're using it as a way to bring them in, to convert them. If I'm sat on the sofa at 7 p.m. and I'm online. I like that I said on the sofa at 7 p.m. I've got kids. I am not on the sofa at 7 p.m. I'm on the sofa at like 9:30 and normally I'm asleep. But, you know, when I'm on the sofa and I'm looking through the internet, I just want fast answers. I just want somebody to answer my question. You know, if I land on your website and I'm like, I really need a massage, I've got a bit of a shoulder problem. What should I have? I don't want to go through all the options and make my own decision. I'm going to get paralyzed by indecisiveness, not knowing what the right thing is. And at 9 p.m. at night, I'm not going to phone and ask. Certainly not going to email and say, oh, what do you think I should have? But if there's a way of me being triaged online and there's a way of me asking what is the best thing for me and getting that answer, I'm way more likely to book.
And what would that be? So that would be like one of these little boxes down there. So when you say it's not AI, how do you personalise that without it being AI answering the questions? And how's that?
Yeah, so if you think about, we'll use yours as the perfect example. I land on your website and this bot comes up and says, what questions have you got? Then it's a video of you that says, you know, welcome to the salon. Really excited that you're here. Choose one of the 5 options below and we'll help take you on your journey. And then the options could be, I'm an existing client. I have a query. I want to book, or I want to speak to a human. And that's really important. I always encourage all my clients to have, I want to speak to a human option. Behind that, I want to speak to a human, I would always then set expectations. And that's when I think it's okay to say, look, your inquiry is really important to us. Somebody will be online between these hours. That's when we're going to get back to you. In the meantime, you can go here and find answers to other questions. So if I then go, you know, I'm interested in booking, it could say, perfect, which one of these things do you think you need? And then let's say one of the options is massage. So I choose massage and it says, the next question is, do you know what you're looking for? Or would you like some help in choosing the right thing for you? I need some help. Perfect. Upper body, lower body.
Yeah.
Let's progress you. So it's short, sharp questions, but within that, we can also educate. So at every point you can say, oh, I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure what I need. Great. Well, let me tell you more about this particular thing. Let me tell you about this particular thing. I keep being told all the time I need a massage and I never go for massages. And it would be exactly that. I'd be looking. We pinned
you down when you were at our place.
You did. It was so good.
Not literally.
What I need. But you know, like I look at the options and I'm like, well, I don't know what that one means. Hot stones? Sounds painful. Like Reiki, no idea. Don't worry, I'm not actually that bad, but like I will go through those options and I'm like, I don't know what any of these things mean. I don't know how any of these things are going to help me. So I'm going to pick the cheapest one. And it's probably not going to help me.
So when you're saying about the replies, are they video replies or are they messaging replies at that point then?
I'm going to use the cop-out answer and say they could be either. I would say it's what does your client want? How do they consume content? The vast majority of people don't like to read anymore, unfortunately.
Yeah. We
lead busy lives. We want to be doing multiple things. And unfortunately, we can't read and do anything else at the same time.
Yeah. I mean, I've got so many business books, like piles of them. And at one point I used to read them. Now I'm straight onto audio, like it just because I can be driving or I can be doing something else. And it's the same how podcasts work, isn't it? Kind of thing.
Yeah.
So true, totally true.
Yeah,
that and as well, it's more personal when it's voice activated. When
absolutely. And I believe marketing going forwards is going to be about giving people choice. Sales and marketing is ultimately, what do you want from me? Like, we still don't want to create an open world for them. But, you know, I've got a client right now who delivers a newsletter through WhatsApp. And right at the very beginning, we will say to them, would you like to read the newsletter or would you like to listen to it?
Ooh.
And then we'll send them what they want. We give them that choice.
Percentage-wise, what's the percentage coming back? Is it 50-50 or?
No. So this is the education industry. They have 70% audio.
Wow.
And people will generally listen to it in their car when they're driving into work.
Yeah, it's definitely a shift, isn't it? And to be honest, I'd never thought about that before, about, you know, like how we're interacting with our clients. And, because again, we get an inquiry. If it's not someone picking the phone up, then you're messaging back kind of thing rather than it being voice.
Yeah, and have a think about, you can really tap into this. So if you think about, when do you get most of your inquiries? Like, what time of day are you getting most of your inquiries? Who is the person that's inquiring? So what are they doing in that moment? So are you predominantly, are your ideal clients or your current clients predominantly female? Are they responding between 10 and 3? Are they parents? So all of a sudden then you're into, okay, I'm starting to see a trend.
I think with like online booking, I think that was a bit of an eye opener for. I mean, we don't use online booking a lot, but for salons that do, it's sometimes like 2:00 in the morning, someone's booking that appointment kind of thing, and it's not necessarily that they're on night shift. It's just they've woke up and thought, need to book that appointment.
My face looks rubbish right now.
yeah, not
How can I fix this?
But and it's the same when our Tracy, who runs our front desk, she was off on adoption leave, and while she was off, what we were doing was we had like a call center taking calls out of hours, and it used to amaze me what time people were actually ringing. They were ringing at like sort of 3 a.m, 11 at night, and things. And obviously it was great because someone was picking up straight away. But, the other thing is as well, because we used to have an answer phone and nobody used to leave a message. And it's like, and I think that is because someone wants to speak to someone, or they want that automatic reply, don't they?
They do. I also think they it's less about them wanting the reply either, but they want to feel heard. We live in a world right now where connection is about being heard. All we do from a marketing point of view is we just broadcast at people. We're just constantly telling people what to think. We're telling them what to believe. We're telling them what to buy. And I think people are a little bit fed up with that. Kind of going back to what you just said, and back to where we started this whole thing, you imagine these people that are booking at 3:00 in the morning. For every person who books at 3:00 in the morning, or every person who inquires at 3:00 in the morning, there's probably 5 people that don't, because they don't know whether it's the right fit for them. They haven't found the answer to their question.
Yeah.
So if we can create a way of them being able to reply to us, and back to one of your questions right at the beginning where you said about automation versus human, I genuinely don't believe anybody who wakes up at 3:00 in the morning and asks a question expects a human to reply.
No.
But they want to feel heard, and they want to feel like somebody is there to answer their question. Yeah. So then if you can use automation to be like, thanks for your inquiry.
Yeah.
Do any of these options answer your current question? This is the next step. This is how we can help progress you. Ultimately, that's what people are looking for right now.
Just going back to something we were talking about earlier, just because I do know some people who have set up groups for clients where they have put it in as a standard group, and they are getting people leaving because obviously you've invited people into a group where they don't know the other people who are in there. GDPR, how do you manage that kind of thing? Should that not be happening in business where someone is setting clients up into a standard group? Does it have to be, can you do a free version of a business group, or does it have to be a paid group?
It doesn't have to be paid at all.
Yeah.
And from a GDPR point of view, you just have to allow people to leave.
Yeah.
And you can't just add people in automatically. So you need to be, it's all about choice. You need to, people need to consent to be added to that group. They need to, I would say they need to know what the group is going to be and what they're going to get out of it. And then they need to be able to leave at any time. But what I would also say is, we're trying to build relationship one-on-one with people here. So for me, I'm not a fan of groups. Let's imagine a situation where, you own a clinic that can help people with skin problems. Am I likely to go into a group and go, look at this picture of this problem I've got. Are you able to help me? No.
Yeah.
Like, you're just not, you know? Whereas if it's one-to-one and you trust people and you message and say, look, I've got this little thing on my arm.
Yeah.
Are you the kind of company that can help me with this?
Yeah.
Here's an image.
Yeah.
You're going to build that one-to-one that just doesn't happen in a group. I think groups are really good for creating community and for people to feel like they're talking to each other. But, if I'm being completely honest, if I go to a beauty salon for something, which I don't do very often, I know you can probably tell, I'm not there to interact with other clients. I couldn't care less.
I think the only time it worked was during lockdown because everyone was craving interaction then. And I know some of our members in Beauty Directors Club, and other salons out there, what they did was they created small groups then on Facebook where they would do like an online facial where, clients could do it at home kind of thing. And that was fun and that worked then. But I think now things have moved on. It's back to being those private consultations, and I think this is where WhatsApp, using it how you're advising, works so well, because it is like it's like a client's got you in their pocket kind of thing. They can come back with anything that they need to know, and it's a private conversation, or like they're going to get something straight back to them kind of thing.
Yeah, and I think it always comes back to exactly the same thing. What do your clients want? What are your clients looking for? Are they looking to speak to somebody who is their trusted advisor? Like, do I want to speak to you because ultimately I believe you can help me? Or am I looking for some form of community? I think, Beauty Directors Club is a perfect example of a really good space for community.
Yeah.
Like a group works really well in that environment because they are a community.
WhatsApp's so interactive.
Exactly that. They are a community.
Yeah.
But if I land, if I wake up at 3:00 in the morning and go, oh my God, I forgot to book a facial, and I go online and I find this form, I don't want to get added to a WhatsApp group to start talking about the facial that I may or may not need. I want to go directly to the source, to the person, so that I can start building that relationship.
Yeah.
Find out the credibility, the know, like, and trust, and then progress that conversation to become a customer.
I can't wait to get everything like in place and everything on both sides of the business. It'd be really interesting to do another. We need to do another podcast after we've got everything set up and got it really, really so that like it's really streamlined for our industry and everything. I think that's going to be so good. But I can't believe the time's like flown over so fast. I could talk to you for hours about this.
Good pun there. The time was flying.
Oh yeah. So obviously, if someone wants to get in touch with you, Paul.
Yep.
See, I think, does your website have where you're speaking and things on? Or
it doesn't. It probably should.
Yeah.
Maybe it will by the time this podcast episode is live.
Yeah. But apart from that, the best place to get in touch with you is how?
So yeah, through the website. There's a WhatsApp bot on the website where you can reach out. So that's clientfunnels.co.uk.
Yeah.
Or I'm on all social platforms.
Yeah.
Or they can come to you. You can send them over.
Yeah. Well, we'll put it all in the show notes and everything.
Perfect.
But if anyone does have the opportunity to actually go and watch you speak live as well, you're obviously so engaged and awesome. So I would also really recommend that. But yeah, we'll put everything into the show notes. And but yeah, I think we should do another episode once we've got everything set up as well.
Now there's a commitment now to me getting you a really good result, isn't there? Because people are going to be expecting it. When people listen to this and go, "Where's that other episode? Oh, it never happened."
It's coming. Brilliant. Paul, this has been fantastic. Thank you so much for giving your time up to come along.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you.